KT, everyone I know, everyone I see in the gym, all the people I follow on social media are making protein shakes. Should I invest in a protein powder? And if so, which one? Let's talk about it.
Cerebral flow in my head I go. Try reach me no, but my cell line slow. I keep it low, it's like where I go. Try teach me how, but I said I know. People know me like you like hope, and I need to know premise when I show. I collect my dough, do my thing and go.
Now, first of all, let me just say that everyone needs protein. It is very essential to our bodies, and I've already made videos about that here, so be sure to check those out to go ahead and inform yourself. Secondly, though, however, how much protein we need is dependent person to person. I've also made videos about that, so check that out. But to give you a little summary on what those videos consist of, protein is important in our body for many reasons. One, for the preservation and increase of muscle mass. Two, for the transport of molecules and nutrients throughout our bodies. Three, for satiety. Four, for improving your metabolism. Five, for structural support. So it's not just an aesthetic need to consume protein, it's a biological necessity. And then your size, activity level, and fitness goals will determine how much protein you need. Now that that is out the way, let's talk supplements. So my rule of thumb when it comes to supplements is if you can't get it from your diet, then purchase a supplement. So what do I mean by that? Let's say calcium. Let's say your daily goal, say your daily need for your calcium intake is 1,000 milligrams, okay? Let's say every morning you have your cup of orange juice. For lunch, you always have some kind of fruit and or vegetable that has a sufficient amount of calcium in it. And then maybe for dinner, you tend to have some kind of grilled cheese sandwich that has, some dairy in there. Maybe you have a bowl of cereal, you're drinking some milk that is high in calcium, and that's your calcium need for the day. Okay, cool. You don't need to take calcium supplement, but if you're someone who maybe is lactose intolerant or just doesn't like to consume dairy, you don't like milk, you don't like cheese, things of that nature, that's limiting your ability to consume calcium, right? Let's say you don't like orange juice or you don't like oranges at all. So if you're someone who is either intolerant to something to where you absolutely just cannot have it, or if you're someone whose taste buds makes you intolerant to it and you absolutely cannot have it and you're not able to meet that calcium need every single day, then yes, you may need to take a calcium supplement. Now, don't let the supplement industry scare you. It takes some time unless you have a pre-diagnosed condition to where your body is already low or is failing to absorb these different types of vitamins. It's very rare that if you go a day to maybe even up to a week of not consuming any or not consuming any amount of a nutrient that your body's that you're going to develop some kind of nutrient deficiency, so those things take time because the body can store lots of, vitamin D, vitamin C, and other types of vitamins. Usually a deficiency comes from being consistently over a long period of time deprived of it. So if today, you had all your calcium intake and then tomorrow you kind of missed it, but then the next day you hit it again, you might be okay and still not need a calcium supplement. Protein is the same way, yet different. I say it's the same way because it's the same in the sense that if you can get enough protein throughout the day, you don't need a protein supplement. It's different in the fact that protein is actually something that you do need daily. Your body does not store protein. When you eat the protein, it's using it. Protein is constantly working in your body. Because again, like I mentioned earlier in the video, it does all these things for us. It isn't just about increasing your muscle mass and making you look good. It is quite literally running a lot of processes in your body to keep you alive. So every single day, protein is degrading. You eat it, it's breaking it down, it's putting it to work. So when you don't, when you're not getting in enough protein, that does become a problem. Again, it's going to take some time for it to become a problem, but it's still, you're at a bigger risk than you would be on some of these other vitamins if you just kind of here or there miss the mark. But when it comes to protein, you do need that on a daily basis. And here's the kicker. Once you get to about age 30 and more, your body starts degrading protein at an even higher rate. It becomes even more of a necessity to have protein in your body. So I say all that to say, if you go a week or so under eating protein, it's not the end of the world, but I wouldn't make it a habit of it. And then again, if you're struggling to get in your daily amounts, I would consider purchasing a supplement. And lastly, if you are an athlete or someone that works out regularly, then you absolutely need to be making sure you're hitting your daily dose of protein. Okay, so let's look at a few examples. Let me paint a picture for you. So let's say you are a 200-pound person. Okay, and then you get on one of those fancy dancy bioelectrical scales, or you use the capillars, or whatever method you want to choose to figure out how much of that 200 pounds is body fat. Okay, so say you did that and you discovered that of the 200 pounds you are, 80 pounds of that is body fat. Okay, so what you're going to do is 200 pounds minus the 80 pounds of body fat gives you how much you have of lean body mass. 200 minus 80, 120. That would be your protein target. Okay, so oftentimes you hear this rule of thumb that you should eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body fat, meaning someone that's 200 pounds may believe they need to be eating 200 grams of protein a day. But that's outrageous. It's a lot. So you have to think about what your makeup is first. So if you're 200 pounds, but only 120 pounds of you is lean body mass, that should be your goal. And this is because right now you're overweight. So you're trying to lose this body fat and bring your body back down to a stable baseline. So you shouldn't be eating 200 grams of protein since this isn't the composition you're wanting to be at, right? So to summarize, if you are overweight in the sense of body fat, you have a lot more body fat than you have muscle mass. Instead of going off of how much you weigh to determine how much protein you should eat, you should go off how much of your body composition is lean muscle mass, lean body mass, and eat that amount of protein. Let's look at another example. Let's say I'm someone that is 150 pounds. Okay, I did all the fancy dancy math and I discovered that 30 pounds of me is body fat, 120 pounds of me is muscle. So again, I also should be eating 120 pounds of protein. But here's the interesting fact about that. When you're in that kind of composition, you can even eat up to your body weight. You can eat 150 grams of protein. It's not going to kill you to eat a little extra, extra 30 grams of protein a day. So that person with that kind of composition could eat their body weight. And the last example I'll give you, let's say you were a 130-pound person, okay? But you're a little on the skinny fat side. So actually 60 pounds of your body weight is body fat, leaving 70 pounds to be lean body mass, right? In this scenario, though, the goal for this person, because if you only have 70 pounds of lean body mass. And again, lean body mass is a combination of your skeletal muscle, but also your organs, your bones, things of that nature, okay? So if 70 pounds of that is your whole mass, that means maybe 40 of that is just skeletal muscle mass. And that's a low amount. So your goal should be to actually increase your muscle mass a little more. So you're going to want to do a body recomposition where maybe you want to lose 20 pounds of body fat and gain 20 pounds worth of lean muscle. So in that instance, you're starting at 70 pounds of lean body mass, but you want to be 90 pounds lean body mass. So I would start there, eating about 90 grams of protein, even closer to 100, because again, you're trying to grow your muscle while you're losing that body fat. Whereas in the other examples, you're either like in the first example where you're that 200-pound person you're that 200-pound person, that goal may be to just preserve your muscle mass so you're not losing or gaining any while you lose your body fat. That's why we're going to eat exactly what we weigh. And the second example of that person being 150 pounds, and they could eat anywhere from 130 pounds to 150 pounds of protein, that is either preserving their muscle mass or increasing it. But when you're in that last example, your goal is simply to increase your muscle mass, because at that point, I think that would be important for you to do just for health reasons. So that's kind of how you can gauge how much protein you should be eating in a day. To recap real quick, if you are someone who's a heavier individual and most of your body composition is body fat, you should only be eating your lean body mass in protein. If you're someone who is mostly muscle, you could eat your entire body weight in protein. And then if you're someone who is needing to increase their muscle mass, then you should eat whatever your lean body mass goal is. Kind of wish I had a nice little board to write this out so you can get the visual. So I hope I'm painting a good picture for you verbally. So now that you have the number, now it's the breakup. So whether you're the person needing to eat 100 grams of protein, 120, or 150 grams of protein, whatever, you want to be able to spread that out between 3 to 4 meals. You definitely don't want to eat all that protein in one setting, so we're going to break that up. So if I'm that person with that goal of eating 120 grams of protein a day and I want to spread that between 3 meals, well, that would be 40 grams of protein per meal. So at breakfast, you need to eat 40 grams of protein. At lunch, you need to eat 40 grams of protein. And at dinner, you need to eat 40 grams of protein. And if you can do that, smooth sailing. You don't need a protein supplement. But if you can't do that, then you might need to supplement one. Let's use the person that maybe needs to eat 150 grams of protein a day, okay? So if 3 meals at 40 grams of protein is 120, well, they would have to eat another additional 30 grams of protein, right? So whether that's going to be divided up between 2 snacks, or that's added in a 4th meal, or that could just be them having a protein shake. Maybe with their dinner, their post-dinner snack could be that protein shaker. With the breakfast, the post-breakfast snack could be a protein shake, just to help get that extra 30 grams of protein in. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how you can assess if you need protein. Once the number starts getting to a level where it's just difficult for you to eat that much in a day, you could take a protein supplement to kind of help you get that extra boost. Or if life is just too busy for you, you don't really have the time to always, make sure you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that protein shake can come in handy. Maybe you just have a protein shake for breakfast on your way out the door, get in that 30 grams that you needed for the day. Well, that you needed for breakfast. So lastly, what is a good protein powder? Well, first of all, I'll go ahead and let you know, taste is going to be a personal preference. Brand is going to be a personal preference. Cost is going to be a personal preference. So those are things that you are always going to have your choice on. But what I would tell you to look out for, and something that wouldn't be a personal preference, is quality. You want something that's going to be high in protein per serving, so at least 20 grams of protein to make it worth your money. If you're going to buy a protein shake and it's only giving you 10 grams of protein per serving, yes, it's something, but you need more. So at least let it have 20 grams per serving. That's the first thing. Second thing is that the FDA does not regulate supplements, and hopefully we all know this by now. And because of that, you never know what you're getting, and that's the sad truth about it. So you have to do a little research on your own to make sure that these supplements you're buying is third-party tested for purity and potency. So what that means is, one, the company isn't using any banned ingredients, okay? Because again, it's not regulated, so they can use what they want. But it's your job to make sure that they're not. Unfortunately, that's the public's job because our government isn't doing it. Secondly, you want to make sure that what they're saying is in it actually is in it. So many proteins have been recalled, have been under investigation, all these things, because they're claiming that it has 20 grams of protein in it when there's no protein at all. So here these people are spending thousands of dollars on a protein powder and there's no protein present whatsoever. And that's unfortunate. That's sad, but there's no regulation. What are we going to do about it? But when they can achieve that third-party testing, which is basically saying that they've sent their product to this lab, and that lab tested it and said, yep, this is exactly what it says it is. And they slapped that third-party verified label. And again, sometimes even that can be fraudulently placed on there, but you get what I'm saying. So unfortunately, you, the consumer, have to do your research, look into it, ask the companies to send, the research they've done on it. You can look up online. There's a website for a third-party testing lab might have a website that will list all the products that they have third-party tested, right? So you can look and see if they truly have been third-party tested. And those are the supplements that I'd buy. And if that is research that you don't want to do, comment in this video, let me know. I'll do the research for you, and I'll come back with the video giving you my top 3 brands or something like that. So yeah, let me know what you think about that. I hope this video helps and you now know how much protein you should be eating, if you need a protein supplement and what kind of supplement to buy if you decide to buy one. The knowledge we gain is important, but it's the knowledge we share that makes a difference. So please share this video with someone that you know has these same questions, has been struggling to know what they should do when it comes to their protein. If you like this video, you know what to do. Give me that thumbs up and I'll catch you in my next video. As always, don't forget to crush it.